Good morning, second period. We are in session 16. It is a mini lesson, learning from our text and from one another. It is Tuesday, May 19th. Readers, in a few more days, we'll finish this unit. I've been thinking about the one most important thing that I still want to teach you. Last night, I even phoned some of my friends to talk about the experience we've had together in this unit and to get them to help me to mull over what the most important thing might be that I haven't yet brought forward to you all. One of my friends is in a book club, a club that has lasted for almost a decade. She said, "Tell your students about my book club. Tell them that sometimes we get together planning to talk about the books, and we end up talking about family and growing older and fears, about doctor visits, winning and losing games, phone calls that have and haven't come. It's like the books are a bridge into personal conversations that we wouldn't have it had except that the books made it possible. And when we get back to talking about the book, we do so in a far deeper way because we've shared some of the other stuff. I realize that this is true, that although grown-ups spend a lot of time talking in the text, doing the things we tell you to do, like citing the text, opening our books to passages each other mentions, noticing the words the author has used and thinking about them, there are also times when we close the books and have the conversations we otherwise never seem to have with each other. We started this unit with the idea that reading literature can help us figure out how to live a better life, how to survive the kinds of issues that people create for each other. Reading literature can help us figure out how to be better people. I'm thinking that we can revise this initial claim just a bit. Reading literature together can help us figure out how about to be better people. Today, I want to teach you that when readers talk about text, we not only learn more about the text, we also learn more about each other. As we ask, what does this mean for you? And press to understand another's perspective, those ink spots on the page take a meaning not only from our lives, but also from the lives of those with whom we read. Think again about Rosenblatt's description of text. She said that a book is just ink spots on the page until a reader transforms the markings into meaning. Think for a moment how a musical score for a symphony amounts to just ink spots on a page until the orchestra brings that music to life. And when the orchestra plays, the richness comes in part from the way that all those different instruments are playing at the same time. The different sounds of the violin, the clarinet, the oboe, the harp make for a richness that matters. I want to suggest the power of reading text together is that so that we can learn what the text means to Tony, to Miguel, to Jonathan, to each of us. And doing that makes those ink spots hold more meaning. It makes the text of all the richer. Remember, yesterday we thought about how our individual lives, including the groups we belong to, our personal traits and our own stories allow us to bring more to our reading. Well, each person in your club is bringing all that complexity to the text. And when we read together as a club, as we come to understand the meanings that each of us brings to the text, we learn more about each other. It's like you hike together not only for the hike, but for the conversations that occur along the trail. And later, when you think back on the hike, you carry with you not only the memory of the trail, but also the memory of the conversations you had along that trail. Let's try something in our lesson time today. Let's reread Shoulders one more time, and this time really push yourselves to notice the part of the poem that resonate for you and to think, what in my life makes this part matter so much to me? Think about that part of your life. Call it to mind. You can jot or just think. You'll press and be able to explain what in their lives they have been each bringing to the text. The goal is to find out not just what you think about the poem, but poem Shoulders, but why. Let's start by rereading. A man crosses the street in rain, stepping gently, looking 2 times north and south, because his son is asleep on his shoulder. No car must splash him, no car drive too near to his shadow. This man carries the world's most sensitive cargo, but he's not marked. Nowhere does his jacket say fragile, handle with care. His ear fills up with breathing. He hears the hum of a boy's dream deep inside him. We're not going to be able to live in this world if we're not willing to do what he's doing with one another. The road will only be wide. The rain will never stop falling. Rereaders, let me stop you. I want to help you with something. If your reader is saying something that anyone could say something generic like, people have to care about each other, and then saying, in my family we take care of each other, and if as you listen you think those sort of the words anyone could say about this poem, then you haven't yet gotten to the particular and unique meaning this one reader could bring. James Merrill once said, these words that come first are anybody's words. We have to make them our own. Press by asking, can you think of one particular time and talk about it with detail? Then, with your friend, listen how your friend's life is not the same as yours. Listen for ways in which your friend brings something different to the text than that which you bring, and ask about it. Ask, are you saying? And try to get deeper. Explain what you are hearing is different for you by saying things like, wow, your reason for thinking that is really different. Here's what I was connecting. And then readers, you might say, well, what's going on for me is a little different because that might feel a little different, I bet. Do any of you feel like you have seen the poem in a new way when the experiences of your friends as lenses in addition to your own? That's the goal, especially when it comes to thinking through the big messages of literature. It helps to see things not just through our own eyes and our own experiences, but through others' eyes and experiences as well. Today is the last day in the unit when you'll receive this extended reading time. I know you've set some ambitious goals for yourself, and I'm going to send you off in a minute to get right to those. But let's talk seriously about just letting them affect your reading. Quickly before you read, make a plan about how you're making these connections and how they're working for you. Your anchor chart is when you hear others' connections, look back in the story for new ideas. So make sure that you are connecting. You're not only thinking about your own connections, but others as well and how they might connect to the story as well. Today's task, you are going to read chapters 39 and 40 in The Serpent King. You are then going to continue working on the final project for Social Issues Unit of Study. You will be asked to develop a summer reading list based on the lessons you have learned throughout the unit. Again, this assignment is posted in Google Classroom. Hope you have a great day, guys. Talk to you later.